Heyo guys, how's it going? Tally here, and today we are going to talk about the post insane ban list. That meaning the ban list is insane. The post ban list version of heroes which can go first and set up a Dark Law, Plasma, or Dystopia, or all three sometimes with cards in hand, like your hand traps called by the grave on field, different interactions on your opponent's turn and lots of them, or it can go second and just absolutely punch your opponent's face in until they no longer have a face. Okay, so using the new Vision Hero cards, which are absolutely insane, plus Stratos at 2, which is now the deck's best normal summon, we've got an insane deck. Okay, so let's just fire right into it. We start off with our Vision Hero package of 3 Faris, 2 Increase, and 2 Vion. Honestly, we used to run Vion at 3 because it was the best normal summon in the deck. Now, Faris makes Vion super searchable. You start with Faris, which gets you Increase, which gets you Vion, all without a normal summon. Okay, so just a quick rundown. Faris lets you discard any random hero, any hero from your hand, to summon itself. It then sets Increase in your spell and trap zone. Increase will then tribute Faris to special summon itself, and when it special summons itself that way, you get a Vision Hero out, which is going to be Vion. Fun fact that I learned today, because this is treated as a continuous trap card, this is in fact a spell speed 2. Now what that means is that allows you to actually dodge more effects, like anything that targets, effect, veil, or impairments. You can use that to tribute a monster to dodge that effect and actually still resolve certain effects, things like Stratos, which is insane for the deck. Okay, but you run this at 3. This at more than 2 is a bit bricky, but at less than 2, if you draw it, you're screwed. And then Vion, again, it is a good normal summon still, but you want to be able to get it off of Increase. From there, we run again a lot of 2-offs because the deck's insanely searchable, right? We run search cards for our search cards for our search cards. So we run 2 Solid Soldier, 2 Shadow Mist, 2 Stratos, because we can't run more than 1, and 2 Malicious. So the 2 Solid Soldier is the second best normal summon in the deck. Again, it's really easy to sculpt your hand to get out Solid Soldier plus Shadow Mist to get your easy mass change. But again, it is the second best normal summon in the deck, but it does come in handy, and again, because the deck has searchers for its searchers every time, it means that you can really consistently get this and this out, or you can really consistently get this out. But yeah, okay, but again, it just helps you swarm the board a little. Mali is, of course, our go-to Vion target. I'm just going to line it there. There we go, that's gorgeous. Yeah, Mali's our go-to Vision Hero Vion target, but Stratos coming at 2 is really good for the deck, because the deck used to be really normal summon reliant, which made Stratos borderline unplayable because it didn't amass you advantage. But if you start off with Stratos plus any other hero, you get your Faris and you combo off like mental. Okay, so there's all of our 2-offs. Again, we tend to play these because we don't want to see them in our opening hand as much. We want to be able to search them out. Malicious, we would run it free because it's insane. This deck kind of technically still has free Malicious. I'll show you that in the combo video. But yeah, we run a lot of 2-offs because the deck's super searchable and we want to see things like Faris more often. And then for our 1-offs, which again we run a decent amount of, we have Plasma, Honest Neos, Bubbleman, Celestial, and Dynatag. Okay, realistically, these 2 plus Mali are our Fusion Destiny targets. This is great because going second, you can fuse this plus any other hero into one of our extra deck cards, Absolute Zero, blow up your opponent's board. This is good because it makes your monsters beefier, right, harder to destroy, and Plasma's a skill drain with legs that has a relinquish type effect, which again is totally nuts, okay, especially going second. And the best thing about this deck is it can actually do either going second or going first really well, right? Going first, it can set up a board of disruption. Going second, it can break a lot of boards particularly easy and amass a lot of advantage in OTK. But there's our 1-offs. Again, this makes your Dystopia live. Because you usually start your second turn with no cards in hand, this, banish it from the graveyard, draw 2. It's nuts. Bubbleman's just Bubbleman, he's great. Honest Neos is great, and Plasma's great. And then moving on, so that's our hero engine, quite a substantial size of the deck, right? Again, hero cards are just insane with a lot of searchability. Now, what we also want in order to interact on your opponent's turn is hand traps. So we have 3 Ash, Do you know what, I'll just get them out as well. And 2 Impermanence. Guys, I understand this isn't the most budget-friendly card in the world. That's totally fine. This could be Effect Veiler really easily. I just like Infinite Impermanence because going first, it has a bit more utility and it can be used outside of the main phase. Overall though, that could be Effect Veiler really easily, and it still has that going second capability, and it still is a piece of interaction on your opponent's turn if you do have the budget for Impermanence. So I think it is around £25 just now. Maybe it's gone down in the off season, but if you can get your hands on some Impermanence, absolutely get it in there. Otherwise, Effect Veiler's totally fine. Nothing to worry about there, guys. But 5 hand traps, again, it just gives the deck more interaction on either my turn or my opponent's turn. Now, for more combo pieces and more honestly busted cards, we have Free Fusion Destiny. So this is a 1-card link to gets you a Dystopia and a Malicious in graveyard, which is honestly quite nuts when you think about it, because this is a 1-card live Dystopia, regardless of the materials, as long as one of them's Malicious. Okay, that's pretty insane. If you use Malicious and Celestial, you also deal a bit of burn damage, so this is really good. And again, going second, it just helps you pick apart boards. Then we also run, because the deck is really scared of hand traps, like most decks are to be honest, we run Free Called by the Grave, because Free Called by the Graves is nuts. Okay, really nothing else to say that protects you from hand traps. And on your opponent's turn, again, it's another piece of interaction. If they have something that they want in their graveyard and you don't want that to be in their graveyard, because it can do things like Orchists, which are still actually going to be a meta viable deck. Things like some of the cards in the Crusadia Thunder Guard Dragon deck, they want them to be in the graveyard and we want them to get out of the graveyard quickly, so we use Called by the Grave. Then next we have Free E-Emergency Call, 1 Rota, just again, the deck has a lot of search cards, purely for just our warriors to help sculpt our hand really well. And none of these are once per turn, so if I opened up like a hand of these, I would in fact have a pretty decent hand. Okay, then from there we run Free Mass Change, and 1 Mass Change 2, because Dark Claw is amazing. Again, I would not run more than 1 Mass Change 2, because it's just worse than Mass Change. It has the level requirement, has the discard as cost. It generally is better than decks that don't actually run a massive hero package. But at the moment, because Shadow Mist isn't the easiest card to get out in the field without a hero lives at more than 1, then we want to have this kind of pretty much just to hard draw into to give us that extra chance of opening up Darkglaw, right? Because Darkglaw shuts down pretty much everything in the format right now. Shuts down Guard Dragon plays, shuts down Sky Striker, which is still tier 1 after the ban list. It shuts down Orchist, which is still competitive after the ban list, and it'll probably shut down more decks in the future. Because we've been over this, you cannot power creep Darkglaw without making it even more insane than what it is just now. And then lastly, for our one-offs, we have 1 Polymerization, which is searchable and recyclable, and we have a Hero Lives, which we would run more if we could, but we can't because it's still on the list. Okay, so yeah, that's the main deck. That's 41 cards, and then we'll move on to the extra deck. So 2 Darkglaw, pretty self-explanatory. Again, Darkglaw is like the best monster floodgate in the game in my opinion. It just does so much, interacts with your opponent, it stops them from setting up graveyard plays. If they search cards, it forces them to minus, so Darkglaw is just insane. And no matter what rarity he's in, he looks super cool. Then, moving on, we have for our masked heroes, 1 Diane, 1 Anki and 1 Acid. Again, this is just to like, if you summon Solid Soldier and someone tries to like Effect Veiler or Impermanence it, you can Mass Change it into Diane and start to combo off a bit easier. Again, Mass Change is really good at dodging card effects. Anki's really good at helping to OTK because it forces either your opponent to deal with it because you can attack directly, which is great going second in game 3, just attack directly for game. It's the deck zone Hayate, and this is great at interacting on your opponent's turn because you Mass Change Absolute Zero into Acid. Absolute Zero, when it leaves the field, will actually destroy all of your opponent's monsters, and Acid, when it's summoned, will destroy all of your opponent's back row. Okay, classic combo for the deck, and it's totally insane. Then for our Destiny heroes, we have 1 Dystopia and 1 Dangerous. This is mostly a backup, if I'm honest. It does have a good graveyard setup effect, and it does in fact, if you can get the two of them out, make Dystopia live on your opponent's turn, which again is really important, and it just, again, it helps you set up your graveyard. The important one though is Dystopia. Dystopia will in fact Trident during your opponent's turn, and it will pop cards during your opponent's turn just to really slow them down. If they care about their graveyard and you pop a really important card, and you've got Dark Claw on the field, then it's going to get banished. Okay, so our Destiny Heroes, this one's a really important one. This one's still awesome, right? It's still amazing. But this one's the one that has the best interaction on your opponent's team. Then for our Vision Heroes, we have Adoration, which is Underclock Taker, and Trinity, which is One Punch Man, or Free Punch Man. Okay, so Adoration allows you to target one face-up monster your opponent controls and one other hero, and then the opponent monster loses attack equal to that monster's... Is it original? No, that's busted. These two are nuts. Okay, and then Trinity, when it's summoned, boosts itself to 5k attack and can attack 3 times. That plus Honest Neos is insane. Okay, 7,500 attack points, and then just beating your opponent's face to death. Then for a Super Poly target, we have Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. We know what this card does. It's a piece of interaction. It helps break boards. It's just good, okay? There may be other viable cards in the future, but right now, Starving Venom Fusion Dragon is just one of the better ones. It can clear a board, and then it actually allows you to push for damage. The downside of most of the hero support is you can't, or you don't want to do this on your turn, right? You want to do this during your opponent's turn, and then push for game next turn. And then for our extra heroes, we have 2 Cross Crusader, 1 Wonder Driver for recycling resources, and 1 Dread Decimator, because that makes Dystopia live. Out of all 3 of these, Cross Crusader is the best one, which ironically enough for me, I used to think Cross Crusader was terrible, because it locked you pretty much into pure heroes, and we didn't really have enough good pure heroes to actually be able to run this card at maximum potential. But now this card's busted, right? With the Vision Heroes, with Malicious, this, when it's summoned, without actually using Malicious's effect, will get you a Malicious on field. Then you tribute that Malicious to search any hero, which could be your Stratos if you've not normal summoned, could be Shadow Mist if you've got Solid Soldier in hand and not normal summoned. Any hero at all, could be Plasma if you've got the extra resources to really try and lock your opponent down. And then you can still continue to use Malicious. It's insane. Again, this... it's not great, I don't like it too much, but the fact that it helps recur our polymerizations, which are really important, it helps recur our mass changes and set them up for during our opponent's turn to again dodge effects and dodge destruction. For things like our Dark Claw, really important. It's the reason we run 2 Dark Claw, so that we can actually Dark Claw into Dark Claw. And then Dread Decimator, because it actually can help OTK. It's not a really bad card, it's quite cool. It sets up a live Dystopia during your opponent's turn, which is all Gucci. Okay, so that's the extra deck. That's our full 15 card extra deck. And again, it works really well. And then lastly, we're going to show some of the side deck, because normally I say play to your meta, but this deck, because it's a jack of all trades, master of none, needs a little bit of help in some elements. Okay, so in terms of going second, we have Super Poly, where we can like Super Poly a Hayate into Absolute Zero, or we can, you know, if you want to use other Omni Heroes, which is not a bad shout, especially now that we've got more access. You can use more Omni Heroes to use Super Poly to go into your heroes and break your opponent's board and start your plays. You know, if you discard Mali off of this, again, it's a big combo right there. But Super Poly is at 2, I run it at 2, but you can now run it at 3, which is pretty bonkers. Then for some decks, you know, Thunder Guard Dragon, Crusadia, Danger, Orchist, you need Lancia, right? Lancia is super important for the decks, because it pretty much ends their turn in most cases, unless they open the nuts. And then the spiciest of spice, 2 Scythe, and 3 Artifact Sanctum. Okay, so if you're forced to go first, game 1, not game 1, sorry, game 3, I would side these in, because pretty much you can still make a board with 2 or 3 cards, right? And then from your opponent's perspective, you can make a board with 2 or 3 cards, which is great, right? And then during your opponent's turn, you just lock them out of their extra deck, which from your opponent's perspective is almost an auto scoop for some decks, right? Things like that use their extra deck incredibly well, things like Pendulum, it's kind of to an extent Sky Strikers, not so much, but it still hurts them. decks such as, like, pretty much everything relies on an extra deck these days, right? So this is the spice. You want to see these as much as possible. If you wanted to, you could also include a couple trap trick. Currently, I don't have the budget for that because I'm trying to spend less on Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But, and that's a big but, this is insane, right? This is absolutely insane. Then you can run other generic cards. You know, you could run more Super Poly targets in the extra deck. You could run things like Evenly Matched, Twin Twister, which I would wholeheartedly recommend just to fill the rest of this with genericness. Okay guys, but that is the hero deck profile up to date as of today, which is the 15th. It's the 15th. It is in fact the 15th of July. Really dating myself here, literally. Anyway guys, before I start getting weird and rambling, we will head to the outro. If you liked it, give it a like. If you loved it, give it a share and tell everyone you know about Team Tally today. And if you want to join Team Tally, hit that subscribe button. It's down there somewhere. You know, it's down there under the mat. I would lift the mat, but then everything would get weird again. Anyway, if you want to join Team Tally, hit that subscribe button down below today. We are getting really close to the first 100, which may not be a big deal to everyone, but it's a massive deal to me, because at that point, you know, it's a big milestone. It's the first big milestone. Anyway, as always, I've been Tally. You have been fantastic. I'll catch you all later. Darkla says bye.